The Hawks are gaining a lot of attention in a weak Eastern Division, but one Hawk in particular is gaining a lot of attention, but because of what he said in the beginning of the season. Also, we got to talk about the Atlanta Hawks that are starting to return back into play and back on the floor. We're definitely excited to see those guys return, and at the right time, because the Atlanta Hawks are starting to make some progress in the Eastern Conference as well in their group play. Right now, the Atlanta Hawks have 2 wins in Group C in the Eastern Conference play in the NBA Cup. So I want to make sure that I say that correctly. Of course, I'm getting used to it, but the Atlanta Hawks right now, they sit with 2 wins. They are at the top of they're at the top of the division. I think the Celtics actually just jumped them with a win over the Cleveland Cavaliers last night, thankfully finally ending their reign of terror on the NBA. But right now, the Atlanta Hawks, they have an opportunity to possibly advance past group play and into the elimination round. And from there, hey, anything can happen. But we definitely got to talk about a lot of the players returning. And we got to talk about this one player in particular who is getting a lot of attention just off of how he called his own shot at the beginning of the season. Right now, man, Dyson Daniels, man, he has actually shown himself to be incredible. For the last 6 games, Dyson Daniels has placed himself ahead of all, establishing himself in a lot of different areas. He's number 1 in steals with 44 in the NBA right now, number 1 in deflections with 88. He's the youngest player in NBA history to have 6+ steals in 3 straight games. The most steals for 10 games with any team, for the most steals through 10 games for any team. And that's 36, and that's since Allen Iverson back in 2001. He's the 4th most contested shots amongst guards with 76. So, of course, he's playing all over the court. Again, he's a two-way player, so he can give you a lot on the defensive end, and also he's shown you that he also can turn it up offensively. Of course, he has scored 28 points a few games ago. So Dyson Daniels really can do it all, and then not even to mention he even went as far as saying that he wanted to be on the NBA all defensive first team. And that is what I wanted to point out, because this guy is incredible. How do you call it? And I don't want to give it as much as like he just did something magical or he had a special drink, like from Space Jam. No, he called it. He said that he was going to do it. I believe that he had been working. There have also been chammers about his activity when he was playing with Australia in the Olympics. So coming off of the Olympics, I do see how some players are starting to just keep it rolling. You know what I'm saying? Ergo Steph Curry and LeBron James, just they're still going, even those that have played in the Olympics. So Dyson Daniels is no different. A Dyson Daniels, I believe, a lot can happen for him this year. I think he's up for a lot of different awards. One in particular is Defensive Player of the Year. So Dyson Daniels, he has a lot of the potential and a lot of what we see through 14 games. Again, he has set himself aside and shown everybody that he is what he saw himself to be, which is a Defensive Player of the Year. But what could possibly be keeping him from getting the Defensive Player of the Year? Now, what I said earlier in the year, this is what I said. I said that Dyson Daniels is going to be an X factor for the Atlanta Hawks. I believe that Dyson Daniels was going to be the defensive X factor that was going to help Trae Young not only stay in Atlanta, but possibly get the Hawks back to their winning ways, ergo 2021, when they went to the Eastern Conference Finals versus the Milwaukee Bucks. But for some reason, the Atlanta Hawks could possibly keep him back from getting the Defensive Player of the Year. Now, not maliciously, not as if the players will stop playing on him or stop, helping him out or whatnot, or start to show that he's not who he says he is. But no, the overall defensive performance of the Atlanta Hawks could possibly keep Dyson Daniels from getting the Defensive Player of the Year. Now, after 14 games, the Atlanta Hawks rank at the bottom 10 of the defensive rankings in the NBA. Now, this is the fourth year in a row that this has actually happened. Now, the Hawks allow the 3rd most points in the NBA, giving up 120 points per game to their opponents. Now, on the bright side, the Atlanta Hawks, they do allow 8.5 points per 100 possessions with Dyson Daniels on the floor. So what that basically says is with Dyson Daniels on the floor, he actually improves the Atlanta Hawks defense to some degree, but the overall defense is still somewhat bad. Now, these last few games, they haven't won all of them, but the Atlanta Hawks have started to show that they can actually play defense as a complete unit or as an entire team. So we know that they can do it. And we know that they can possibly help Dyson Daniels get Defensive Player of the Year. Now, another award that he could possibly win, and this is the first time that I've actually even heard of this award, and it's called the NBA Hustle Award. Now, Dyson Daniels, again, could possibly get that award. Of course, he's had the most contested shots amongst all guards in the NBA, again, and of course, he's got the most steals. He has the most deflections. So you can see that he's been all around the court and all around the court. So, some notable players that have actually won this award was Alex Caruso last year, and the year before that was, of course, Marcus Smart. So Dyson Daniels would be in good company if he were to win this award. Now, again, if Dyson Daniels wants to win the Defensive Player of the Year award, the Atlanta Hawks would have to put together an entire team effort. It's going to take the entire team to get Dyson Daniels that award. And I believe that it can possibly happen. Again, we see how they've performed as a team and how it could possibly happen. So with all that being said, we definitely got to get into the Atlanta Hawks injury update, because we see that a lot of the Hawks are starting to return back to the court. Of course, Bogdan Bogdanović, he had 18 minutes versus the Sacramento Kings. So, of course, we see that he's starting to return. I want to believe, it was about 4 weeks ago, I did say that the Atlanta Hawks would be returning a lot of these players back. This was at the beginning of what we knew was the injury bug. But Bogdan Bogdanović, he started to show improvement. He's progressed through his rehab. So he's already seen some action on the floor. Kobe Buffkin could return also with a right shoulder issue. I don't want to screw up this word, but let's say he's had a right shoulder issue, but he has progressed through his rehab. He's doing well, and he could possibly return. The same with Vit Krejci and Seth Lundy. So we're starting to see the Atlanta Hawks start to return back into full form, and I would love to see how they would perform over a long period of time or over a certain stretch with their bodies all on the court. You do what I'm saying? All the guys that can possibly contribute to a Hawks win. Now, going up against the Golden State Warriors tonight, the only person right now that's showing up on the injury report would be Jalen Johnson. This is a left lateral lower leg inflammation, a lot of L's. But he's showing some issues in his left leg. So right now he's questionable. He's a game time decision. But we'll see if that's if he would be able to be with the Hawks. Now, I don't want him to injure himself any further, but you dig what I'm saying? Like, hopefully if he can go, we definitely want to see him play. Tonight, of course, again, they're going to be taking on the Golden State Warriors. The keys to the win for that, again, it's just 5 keys. I try to stick to just 5 keys for a keys to a win, a team win. Right now, for one, don't allow Draymond Green to get in your head. Don't make this a cerebral match. Don't allow him to affect the game in any psychological way. Stay out of number 2, stay out of foul trouble, and that's for Dyson Daniels. Of course, he is, a defensive machine, so of course teams are going to be targeting him. Big O, Clint Capela, Hunter, Larry Nance, all of our bigs. We want to make sure that they stay out of foul trouble because we want as many rebounds as possible. 3, don't get into a shooting match. This is a 3-point shooting team. Though they don't have Klay Thompson anymore, they are still a shooting team. They added Buddy Hield to their lineup along with Steph Curry. That is still a really good team from the 3-point line, so don't get into a 3-point shooting match with them. Dyson Daniels should not, number 4 is Dyson Daniels should not be the only defensive threat on the court. So we need some deflections from Trae Young, we need some deflections from Bogdan Bogdanović if he's going to play. We need some deflections from Hunter. We need some deflections from Big O. We need to make sure that we are starting to show the NBA that they can play defensive basketball. And number 5, please play 5. I mean, not 5. Number 5, play 4 full quarters. Play 4 full quarters, and I do believe the Atlanta Hawks could possibly deliver a win on this West Coast tour that they're on right now. But with all that being said, stick around because after the game tonight, I'll definitely be right back to give you guys some updates. And we're excited to see where the Atlanta Hawks could possibly go with the full roster at hand. And this is going to be dope, man. With all that being said, I am out. Take it easy.